Right, 11 minutes past 7. Let's go to that story I mentioned. Burundi's President Évariste Ndayishimiye is in the DRC for a state visit. He is expected to meet DRC President Félix Tshisekedi, and the two heads of states are going to discuss the worsening security situation in the Democratic Republic of Congo, and of course regional efforts to stabilize the conflict-hit region. We speak now to Burundian journalist Bob Rugurika. Bob, a very good morning to you, and thank you so much for speaking to us. So let's just start off with what has been articulated from both sides has been central to the conversation. What is high on the agenda?
Good morning, good morning. Officially, they will discuss the security situation in Eastern DRC, where Burundi shares along to 243 kilometers border with the DRC. They will also address the Ebola pandemic and the response to it, along with many other issues that affect the lives of both these two countries, Burundi and the DRC. But however, it is widely understood that the main topic will be the military action by the Burundian army in eastern DRC now. Where Burundi is acting as a subcontractor for the DRC in the war against the movement M23 movement, which controls actually vast territories in the two main region of the North Kivu and the North Kivu and South Kivu. And remember, actually, Burundian President Ndayishimiye has been the current chairperson of the African Union since February 2026. So undoubtedly, they will also discuss the African Union support in the search for a solution to this ongoing war in the eastern of DRC.
I just want to talk about the Great Lakes region and the role that Burundi has played during the decades long of conflict. Now, just in terms of the sway and influence that President Évariste Ndayishimiye has right now, particularly in helping quell the tensions. We know that the activities of M23, amongst others, is deep on his mind. What is likely to be his posture, his suggestion to President Félix Tshisekedi?
It is very difficult because since the beginning of this war in eastern of Congo, uh, we don't see a real suggestion for peace in this part of DRC from Burundian, because Burundian is motivated by two main, I think, objectives. First, Burundi say there are rebels who are preparing war against the regime in Burundi and who are operating from the eastern of Congo. So the presence of the Burundian army in the eastern of Congo means to contain these threats from Burundian rebels. But in other side, Burundian regime is taking advantage from how to say of much money they received from DRC government, because now, as it seems since August 2023, the Burundian regime signed a defense cooperation between Burundi and the DRC, and the Burundian government received much money, several millions of dollars from the DRC government. So Burundi is acting as I told you, in DRC in the war against M23. This is the particular reason Burundi is operating in the DRC. So we since the beginning of this war, we didn't saw any suggestion or any solution from Burundi unless the war. And it is clear that there has no positive result from Burundi in this war in the DRC. You can just verify of that.
But you know, the fact is that the conflict has displaced millions who have also spilled across the borders. What now with this health crisis of the Burundi outbreak of Ebola? How does the president of Burundi foresee his conversation going with the DRC, particularly on how to protect Burundian borders, even though it is a joint effort to keep the region safe?
Bon, effectively, I think that at the menu of their discussion, there will be this subject who is discussed here in this region, Great Lakes region in Burundi, DRC, Rwanda, Uganda. So I saw that there are many initiatives in Burundi to fight this to fight and to protect populations. I think I saw at the beginning of this pandemic. They first closed I think at the first time they first closed the border, but I think later they found other issues, other solutions. So I am sure that they are working together to avoid the propagation of this Ebola pandemic from DRC to Burundi. I think that they will be discussing of it also, because till now in Burundi there is no any case of Ebola.
Any hint of what the likely outcome of this meeting will be? And I'm talking about concrete outcomes. I mean, often we hear binationals coming out with signed treaties, etc. But just in terms of stability, because Burundi has itself pointed to the difficult relationships between DRC and Rwanda.
Absolutely. Since it is not since only the war in the eastern of Congo, Burundi has a difficult relations with Rwanda since 2015, I suppose, because with the beginning of the crisis in Burundi, Burundi used to say that Rwanda received many refugees who are against the regime in Burundi. So they want to accuse Rwanda to participate in the conflict inside Burundi. But it was not the case. It was not real. But at this side, Burundi also used to support some armed group who are against the Rwanda's regime. So in this context, in this regional crisis context, Burundi seems to seek a strong relationship with DRC, as DRC accused Rwanda to be in war with the regime in DRC. So Burundi estimates to reinforce his relation with DRC Rwanda. Not with Rwanda, with DRC against Rwanda. Yeah. So I think that this is why Burundi choose to sign this mutual defense cooperation between DRC and Burundi, in order maybe to reinforce the security relations with DRC. But it seems somehow it is against Rwanda. But because we can see what
All
is
right.
going on in the eastern of DRC.
Bob, thank you so much. Bob Rugurika, Burundian journalist, speaking about the visit of his president to the DRC that holds talks about the regional insecurity there. It is 21 minutes past 7.
Este é o Caleidoscópio de Canal África.